Assuming you're not making your own felt, which is what hat makers used to do. The hat maker and the felt maker used to be the same person. And the felt making process is quite complicated. Simply put, it's the matting together of fur or wool fibers to make a non-woven fabric. And with the Industrial Revolution and machine-made felt, the trade was separated into two. One into felt making that supplied the hat finishing trade, and then the hat maker got his felt ready-made. The hat maker, at this stage, with ready-made felt, starts with a felt hood. It's a fairly shapeless piece of felt, but it does have some shape to it, but it doesn't really look like a hat. It's not a flat sheet. A lot of people who ask me about this think that it comes in by the yard as a flat sheet, but it doesn't. That's a hood, the first stage of the felt making. The initial blocking gives it some shape and it turns it into a hat body, and it now starts to resemble a hat. You can see a definite crown and brim sector to the felt. This is then soaked in the hottest water you can stand to put your hands in, and which makes it pliable. It is stretched over a wooden hat block to give the shape to the crown, and it actually should have been a block in there for the display purposes, but you couldn't tell, so we didn't bother. It's tied off at the base to hold the base of the crown in place, and once the crown is finished, you don't want anything else to happen to that. It is then, the brim is then ironed flat against a brim board, and to give it the next stage of the production. The brim is then, in this fairly simplified version of the hat, the brim is then cut to size, an even radius all the way around, and the excess is discarded. And there have been a number of different devices used to do this. The brim cutter or rounding jack is one of the ones that has survived as being the most useful. Once the crown is finished and the brim is cut to size, if it's going to be a rolled brim, the brim is then rolled. It's done by turning it just simply by hand and then pressing it with a flat iron, much the same way you flattened the brim in the first place. And then that is the finished hat without trimming or lining. Then with various ribbons and bands, this finally gets turned into this sweatband, hatband, and all. And then the dent, because because of the style. This is a Homburg. So that's how you make a soft felt Homburg. The processes are similar for virtually any hat, any felt hat.